Oh hey, what's up guys? I'm just working on my go-kart right now. Caught me at a great time. I was just working on the engine right here, making sure everything's good and ready to go. And actually, if you want to come a little closer, you can see exactly what's going on. So this right here is called our go-kart's clutch. This connects the engine's power to the actual axle and the gears right here of our go-kart, and that's what helps it go. It transfers the power of the engine into the frame, and that's what basically gets us running. Makes it go-kart a go-kart. But what happened here is, you can see this clutch is pretty rusted, pretty old, and not very good overall. So what we're actually gonna do is order a brand new clutch that fits a little bit better and it can run a little bit smoother. Once we've got that installed, we'll be able to actually get driving and have some fun. But don't you wanna learn how I got to know how to do all this? Come along and we'll go find out.
So how exactly can you learn how to build something like that go-kart, or any project that you'd like to take on for that matter? Well, I believe that the most important step is to have an open mind. That's one of the core literacies of engineering as a whole. If you don't have an open mind and you're not willing to learn new things, you're going to struggle to build things and work on things that you want to make. For example, for my go-kart, not everything was set in stone. A lot of things depended on what exactly I did or wanted to do. And because of that, I had a lot of freedom, but with that freedom came the burden of deciding what exactly to do. And so if I had not learned the skill of adaptability and being able to work as I go, I don't really think I would have been able to get where I got today. So for that matter, I think that that's really important. There's a popular and kind of funny quote online that says, improvise, adapt, and overcome. And I think that perfectly sums up what exactly you need as your first steps into engineering. The second thing that I think is really important is the ability to be creative. Along with adaptability, it's really important that you are able to have an open mind and really think outside the box. If you're limited to the confines of past ideas or the ideas that people put out there on the internet, you really won't be able to do a whole lot in terms of your own personal choices and designs. And this really limits you in terms of engineering. Sure, you may be able to find a few instruction manuals online of different things, but it's not exactly certain how much those will be able to help you. Now, if you have the skills that we are talking about here, it's way easier and becomes a lot more manageable to work on whatever project that you want to work on, because you're able to have the freedom and control that you desire, and you can bring the vision that's in your mind out into the physical world. Another vital skill for this project is the ability to learn. If you're not able to learn, you really will not be able to progress in terms of your engineering prowess. For example, I didn't know a lot of things in terms of go-karts. However, I always make it a point upon myself to learn as much as I can. I learned about the engine, I learned about the wheels, I learned about the axle, I learned about all the different parts of my go-kart before I even had the go-kart. And for that, you need to be able to learn online, be able to dig and do your own research and figure out what exactly you need to know and what exactly makes something a good part or versus a bad part. At the end of the day, these are all investments. I'm a college student and I don't have a lot of money, so it's really important that you do your research right so that you can save money and make great decisions so that you can maximize your effort. Along with all of these, I think one of the more serious skills that you should have is perseverance. Throughout all projects, you will face a multitude of roadblocks. That is a given. Throughout my project, I've had a lot of different challenges. Right now, the go-karts aren't fully working, and that's okay. I still have a lot of work to do, and that's normal. There have been times where you can have a fully functioning product, but that may break down. And even though that may seem like a very challenging thing for you, you have to take the opportunity to realize that it could be a great learning opportunity. You learn a lot about not only what you've built, but about yourself and what the engineering design process takes. It can take your whole game to the next level, and you'll be able to work a lot more efficiently on anything you do in the future. Additionally, one of the pieces of literacy that I believe is really important is the ability to read through schematics and other online designs. Engineers in the past have perfected their craft in building what they're good at building, and so for this you'll find plenty of resources online and throughout other places like the library. It's vital that you as an engineer learn how to read these and organize them through them and interpret them. Without this knowledge, you will not be able to advance in whatever project you do. For example, for my go-kart engine, there's a specific startup procedure, and in the startup procedure, the owner's manual links an image with a bunch of different parts, and I'll link it over here. In this image, you can see that there's a lot of different linked parts with arrows and markers and all these different things. If I had not been able to read this, I would not have been able to start up my engine, and that would have probably been a pretty big issue since the go-kart needs an engine to run. In a similar manner, all projects will have past data, and this data is important to us as it can set guidelines for what we want to do. If we can't read through these works, we will really struggle, and it's really important that we learn this. I think the best way to learn this is to look at what other people have done and figure out what works for you. It's not the same for every person. Everyone always says the hardest part is getting your foot through the door, but once you're there, things get a lot easier. Finally, I want to wrap up by saying, even though engineering projects can be challenging, they are a lot of fun. The whole point of engineering is to have as much fun as you can while you're doing something that's hopefully productive. For me, the go-karts have been a childhood dream, and now I have the opportunity to bring them to life because of my engineering skills. So now, let's head back on out there and let's have some fun.